I got a lot of requests from people to do this. This is Blossom's self-titled first LP. I can't even. I just had to sit through that all the way through. I'm only 3 reviews in, and I feel like I've just had a kick in the bollocks. Right, let's just get into the track listing, because this really was not good. Really not good. Charlemagne, this was the biggest single from this album. I've heard this song once a week for the last 2 years. Not this song specifically, but this song, if you know what I mean. Not this song specifically, but this song, this major label song that they do with these bands. I've heard it about twice a week for the last 2 years. This is a recurring theme, but it's an attempt to be AM era Arctic Monkeys. You know, even the bass lines and the delayed guitars. You know, I hear it, Blossoms. I hear it, and I know exactly what it is. You know, you're not fooling anybody. And I hate shitting on art, really, but I'm gonna do it a lot through this. I try my hardest to like music. You know, I like all kinds of music. Wow. The second track is at most a kiss, and same synth effect as the first track. This is when I started to realise, oh, it's one of these albums. More attempts to sound like mid-2000s indie pop. The less said about that track, the better. Next track. You know, next track anyway. Yeah, Get Away. I actually laughed when I first heard this. Was this an attempt at real music, or is this some sort of Lonely Island spoof of a spoof? I wasn't sure. Turns out it was real. The lyric, I'm over you, you get under me. Oh, Jesus wept. Bland chorus. You know, if you're gonna make this shit, at least do it fucking well. Next song, Honey Sweet. This was a great song in 2009 when it was Bulletproof by LaRue. At this point, I'm really getting sick of the production being the same at all points in this album. I had been hearing the same song now, and I was getting tired of listening to this. But like a brave soldier that I am, I kept going. This song sounds like what Dive would sound like if Dive weren't good. Next song is Onto Her Bed. Nice bit of a Drake style piano. I can't believe I'm doing this, for God's sake. And to make this even worse, it's actually funny. The end of this song. I'm sniffing up all the time. I've got a fucking cold. This is disgusting, but I'm going to leave it in just as a stark reminder of what this album is. The end of this fucking song is the exact same as the end as Living Each Day by Ronan Keating. Just let that sink in. This is the most I've ever written for a music review. Like, I had so much to say. The next song, Texia. Oh, wow. At this point, you know, oh, for God's sake, minor fucking seventh chords. I've heard them all through this, whatever this genre of music is, this sort of attempt to be fucking cool band. You know, minor seventh chords got old in 2005 on the guitar. That is. The counter melody on the synth sounds like a bad Alison Moyet single. Jeez. Wow. The next track, Blown Rose. I actually got so bored I didn't even write anything. But I see the score I gave that song. Funny. The next track, Smashed Planes. Feels like I'm losing you, the lyrics say. That is extremely meta. Well done, Blossoms. You got that perfect, because you really were losing me. I was losing interest at a frightening pace at this point. I could really barely keep going, and this is another Arctic Monkeys B-side. We'll just move on. The next song, Cut Me and I'll Bleed. Sounds like whoever wrote this song stopped listening to the AM album by Arctic Monkeys on repeat and picked up a Foals album. So kudos to them for at least trying to write another band's song. Quickly move on from that. The next song is My Favourite Room. My goodness me, the acoustic guitar really would be a nice change. But in this instance, it's just a very obvious reminder that this is an album on a major label, and it really is itself that. That's what it is. It's a major label album. What do you really expect? You know, major label music is low risk. I'm not saying it's all bad. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of albums released on major labels that I adore, that are very close to my heart. This will be one. This might even be like The Room in a sort of meta sense, the film The Room, where I listen to this again just for the comedy effect. I'm really sorry about my nose running, but I'm going to leave it in for artistic effect. The next song is Blow. Interesting move, using the neck pickup on the driven guitar to play a guitar solo. This is allowed to be done by one person only. That person is Jimi Hendrix. We'll move on because you are not Jimi Hendrix. You are a bang average guitar player. The final track, Deep. I can't even read what that says. I'm going to have to go quickly onto my Spotify and have a look what that says. Deep Grass. I was right the first time. Thank God I'm at the fucking end of this thing. Jesus Christ. Thank fuck that was the final track, and for fuck's sake it was the longest one as well. 4 minutes 45. Why did that have to be at the end? I didn't even write anything. I can just see the score I gave it. Overall on this thing, this band formed in 2013. Yeah, around about the time that AM by Arctic Monkeys came out. Every single one of the band members here was listening to that album a lot. Now, one thing about the Arctic Monkeys AM album, I think it's the worst album released on a major label in the last 10 years. I think it's the very low point for Arctic Monkeys. So to try and emulate that would be a severely bad mistake, which is what Blossoms attempt to do. Now, the production on this thing is really, really good, right? It's major label production. Right, and you can tell, I am sure that Blossoms were really good before they got into the studio, and that these songs were completely different arrangements. But they got into the studio, and this happened. I can hear Foals as an influence very heavily. I can hear Arctic Monkeys as a huge influence very heavily. I can hear every single one of those indie post-punk revival bands of the mid-2000s influence very heavily. I can also hear the influence of Cash very heavily in the synth melodies and overuse of those. Like I said, man, I don't like shit, and I really like music. So it's really annoying to me that 3 reviews in, I've had to do this. I've had to put out a review which gets this grade. This is 12 tracks long, and it got a score of 13 out of 120, which is 11%. This album got an F for fail. I could use U for unclassified, but I'm using F as fail. This album failed. As in, if the charts were an exam, almost anything is passable Almost anything. I can listen to anything and go, meh, I can at least understand what it's trying to do. I'm almost speechless at how bad this was. This is the worst album I've heard in a very long time, since AM by Arctic Monkeys. This is terrible. Blossoms, I'm sure you were really good before you got into the studio, before you were discovered and forced into this. This is you can clearly tell that this is forced. Why? Why is this? This is a flash in the pan. I am willing to bet my channel that this is that Blossoms are a flash in the pan. This will be the first and last commercial success for Blossoms. They might have another single that does something, but that might be it. That'll be it. Blossoms, you start and end here. Your career is already over. F. Fail. I feel bad for even doing that. 11%. This album got a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 0 scores. Five of these tracks got 0 from me. At least the production is good. You know, it's recorded really well. The vocals and the lyrics, though, ugh, Christ. This band is from Stockport. You can hear the northern accent in the singing. You can tell that the singer isn't a singer, but at least attempts to do so. Much like Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys, not a singer, but has that uniqueness to them. Yeah, that's it. The lyrics are really nothing to write home about, ironically, and they're nothing to write about. They're middle of the road. Not even that. They're so forgettable. I'm quite angry because I was you know, a lot of people have said have had a lot of hype around this. Mind you, those people on the Tinternets are people who are reviewing the more commercial stuff, and rightfully so. This is a commercial album from a band that would be indie. And I understand its commercial success. This album was #1 vinyl last year. That tells you all you need to know. Shh, little joke there. Recorded in digital, but somehow #1 on vinyl. Kind of misses the point, but the less of that, the better. Blossoms, you disappointed me beyond belief. I'll repeat it again just to finish the video off nicely. Of course, all the links to the music and stuff will be below. This album received an F for fail. This album failed. Whatever that means, it failed. I've been the Purple Atlas, and this has been the worst album I have heard in the 2010s. Thanks.